One of the most dramatic ways of modernizing a bathroom is to replace the bathtub and tub surround. While this sounds like a big project, it's actually not as hard as it sounds for a do-it-yourselfer who's fairly handy. Most of the time, the bulk of the project can be completed in a full weekend. In this segment, we'll give you an overview of the installation process. Okay, let's get started. Most bathtubs and tub enclosures are designed to fit into a standard opening 5 feet long and 30 inches wide. Enclosures are also available as stand-up shower stalls in different sizes. Some have built-in towel bars and shelves, and most are available in a few color choices. We're going to be installing a white Performa wall set and right-hand tub from Sterling Plumbing. Before removing the old tub, carefully measure the bathroom to make sure a new tub will fit. If the tub enclosure is original to the house, the entire unit is most likely one piece. Builders put in the unit as they frame the house. When choosing a replacement, beware of these one-piece units, as you may not be able to fit the entire tub and surround through finished doorways, upstairs, or around corners. Fortunately, most replacement tubs come as one piece, and the tub surround comes in several pieces. The most common are 3- and 5-piece surrounds. If you're relatively certain that the area where the tub will go is square, a 3-piece surround with a 1-piece tub is fine. If the walls are out of square, go with the 1-piece tub and a 5-piece surround. The 2 additional pieces give you more play during installation. Bathtubs come in both left-hand and right-hand drain models. You'll need to choose a replacement that has the drain on the same side as the existing tub. We're replacing a tub with a right-hand drain. Looking at the tub in position, you can see that the drain is on the right side of the tub. If you're replacing an old tub enclosure, to remove the tub and surround, you'll need to cut out some drywall. The tub surround extends about an inch around the edges, and the drywall fits over this. It may be easier to take out a larger section of drywall and replace it, minimizing the need for a tricky patch job later. Okay, with that background in mind, it's time to take the tub out. But before you begin work, you need to shut off the water supply, either at the main water line or from the shut-off valves running to the shower. Open the faucet to let out the water remaining in the pipes. Once that's done, remove the old fixtures. The fixture knobs are screwed on, so look for a recessed screw in the middle of the handle. Some shower fixtures have a small cover that will need to be pried off to get to the screw. To remove the bath spout, look for a set screw underneath and loosen it. If there isn't a set screw, you can remove the spout by turning it counterclockwise. The shower head will come off with a few counterclockwise turns as well. Once you've removed all the fixtures, you can begin taking out the surround and the tub. If the unit is made of fiberglass, like the one we're removing, start pulling it apart at the top, then use a reciprocating saw to cut it into smaller pieces. Be careful as you're cutting because you don't want to hit any wires or cut into any studs or pipes. What if you're removing a cast iron tub? Cover the tub with an old blanket that's been wet and wrung out. This will help to contain dust and debris. Then, give the tub a few good sledgehammer whacks to break it up. Even with the blanket in place, you'll need to use eye protection for this job because pieces will tend to fly all over. Once you have the tub out, clean up the area. At this stage of the project, it's extremely important to make sure the floor underneath the tub is level and will evenly support the tub. New fiberglass tubs are relatively lightweight when they're empty, but they become quite heavy when full of water, and the floor will need to support a great deal of weight. Next, see if the pipes and drain line up with their locations in the new tub. The installation instructions for the new tub will list dimensions for roughing in the plumbing. That is, they'll tell you how far in the drain hole needs to be and where the center line is for the location of the new faucets, overflow valve, tub spout, and diverter. Once you begin a project such as this, it's fairly common to run into challenges that you'll need to overcome. In our case, because the new tub is a bit smaller than the one we just removed, we need to move the pipes over a couple of inches. We'll also need to modify the drain. Mark a center line on the wall for the tub diverter and the tub spout. All the new plumbing fixtures will need to be lined up with this center line. Since the existing lines in this home are copper, we need to solder the new hot and cold water pipes into position. In the basic training segment of Volume 92, plumbing and electrical expert Bob Aiken demonstrated this procedure for fitting copper pipes. He covered drainage, waste, and vent systems in the advanced training segment of Volume 81. Review those 2 segments to learn how to correctly solder pipes and to understand how a typical drain system works. As you can see here, the bath drain shoe attaches to the underside of the tub drain. The shoe then flows into the overflow drain and down the P-trap. Each connection under the tub is made with compression rings, which need to be hand tightened. Once the plumbing underneath is ready to go, position the tub up against the studs and make sure it's level. This is also the time to install the overflow valve. We have a mechanical stopper for our tub, so we need to install the plug. Adjust the stopper so that the arm is roughly the same height from the drain hole to the overflow opening. Stick the stopper in and attach it to the stopper handle. Ours attaches with 2 screws. A simpler option would be to go with a pop-up stopper. Hand tighten all the plumbing connections underneath. Line up the drain shoe and screw in the drain basket. Put a thick layer of silicone sealant underneath the drain and ensure that the seal seats correctly. Once the sealant sets and the drains are in place, test for leaks before going any further. We've verified that there are no leaks, so now it's time to secure the tub in place. We're attaching our tub directly to the studs with galvanized roofing nails. The nails should be driven into the studs just above the flange of the surround, pinning it into place. Check the instruction manual for exact stud placement as necessary. Okay, so the tub is in and the plumbing works. Now it's time to install the tub's surround. Dry fit the pieces into position first, starting with the long sidewall. Hammer in a galvanized roofing nail just above the flange to hold the piece in place. Check to make sure it's level. Then add the back wall. Our tub has a tongue and groove design that helps keep moisture from getting behind the wall. Each panel has a tab on the surround that fits into a slot molded into the tub. Slide the back wall into position and ensure that it's level. The seams of the panels need to be nice and tight, with no more than a 1/32 inch gap between the top of the tub and the bottom of the wall. That's about the thickness of a credit card. Mark the location of the faucet diverter and the tub spout pipe on the back side of the panel. Measure it, making absolutely certain you have the location correct. You need to cut holes in the surround for this, and you'll only have one shot at getting it right. Check the instruction manual to determine how best to cut through the surround. For our project, the manual specifies cutting a 1/4 inch pilot hole in the back, then using a hole saw to finish it from the front. For the larger opening, it says to use a jigsaw or a recip saw. Depending on what type of tool you're using to cut the opening, you may need to cut from the front or from the back. In our case, tools that cut on a push stroke, such as hole saws, rotary tools, and handheld jigsaws, need to be used on the finish side of the surround. Recip saws and other tools that cut on the pull stroke should be used from the back side. The hole doesn't have to be perfect because you'll cover the opening with trim pieces. Once you've cut the hole, place the surround on the wall to make sure it fits. Again, check for level. If everything lines up properly, the next step is to attach the sidewall permanently. Use galvanized roofing nails to secure the wall directly to the studs through the nail holes in the flange. Before securing the front and back walls of the surround, add a 4-inch bead of silicone caulk in an L shape at the outside edge of each wall. Then put the wall in position and nail it in place. Run a bead of silicone caulk around all the edges and seams of the tub and surround so they'll be watertight. You can smooth the silicone into the seams by running your finger over it. Now it's time to install the trim pieces for the faucet and the tub spout. Place some Teflon tape around the threads of the pipe before attaching the spout. Apply Teflon tape around the shower head pipe threads too. The Teflon tape will help keep water from leaking out through the threads. Finally, finish up the wall trim and run a bead of sealant around the apron of the tub. And there you have it. As I said earlier, this isn't really a difficult project, however, it can be time-consuming. It may take up to a full weekend to get all the work completed, especially if any of the plumbing needs to be relocated.